What is going on, guys? My name is Mitch. Today I'm going to teach you how to solo and improvise on the guitar using only one shape. You'll be able to solo in any key, major or minor. But I'll show you how you can change which notes you're focusing on to change it from minor to major and vice versa. Let's make sure you know how to use it in any context. So the shape we're going to be learning is the pentatonic scale or the pentatonic box. If you already know it, stick with me till later on in the video and I'll show you a trick you can do with this pentatonic scale that I think not as many people are aware of. You can skip ahead a little bit in the video if you want, and I'll show you some cool things you can do with it. For those of you who don't know how to play the shape already, let's get into it. Start with our index finger right along the 5th fret there. We're going to play 5-8 on the E string, 5-7 on the A string, 5-7 on the D string, 5-7 on the G, 5-8 on the B, 5-8 on the E. You want to get used to playing that up and down and then do the exact same thing backwards. And then you want to get used to moving it around to different spots on the fretboard. That's how you're going to play it in different keys. Playing it right there on the 5th fret, focusing on these root notes. We're playing in the key of A minor. Whichever note your index finger, your pointer finger is starting on is what minor key you're playing in. So right there, we're playing in A minor. If you want to play in B minor, just move up 2 frets. The pattern stays exactly the same. So you don't want to memorize the frets that you're playing. You want to memorize the pattern. So in the key of F minor, it's easiest to explain. So we have our 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and 4th finger, each lining up with their corresponding frets. 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, and then the last two are 1-4. Get that pattern memorized and you can move it anywhere on the guitar. Next thing you want to make sure you know is the notes on your E string. This is very important. A lot of people are afraid of learning their notes, afraid of learning music theory. It's really not that hard. All you have to know is the notes from 1 up to 12. 12 frets there. There's really only 7 notes, 7 letters. I think anybody can learn those 7 letters. So we have our open string, E. 1st fret, F. 3rd fret, G. 5th fret, A. 7th fret, B. 8th fret, C. 10th fret, D. 12th fret, we're back to E again. Don't worry about memorizing any of the notes past the 12th fret yet. Once you get comfortable with the notes up here, they just repeat again. So the dots on your fretboard are very important. If you know that G is the 3rd fret, this dot here corresponds to this dot here. So G, A, B, C, D. And then all the way back to E again. If you memorize them here, you already know them up here. Then all you have to do is plug in your pentatonic to whatever minor key you're playing in. So let's say I want to play G. 3rd fret here is G. You can play any of those notes and they're going to sound good in the key of G minor. You can also find the corresponding fret up here if you want to play in a higher register. Here's a trick that I think not as many people know about. All you have to do in order to turn your minor scale into a major scale is change your root notes. So if we have our A that we're doing, where we're on the 5th fret here, take your same shape, but instead of using your pointer finger to start off the scale, move the whole scale over and have your pinky on that A. Then start the scale from that pinky. Now we're playing in A major. You can also still use that index finger note. You just don't want to focus on it because that's no longer our root note if we're playing in major. You can also move that shape around anywhere you want, just like with the minor shape. For example, if I want to play in E major, I'll take my pinky, start it up here on the 12th fret, Because we're changing where our root notes are, we're getting a major feel from the scale instead of a minor feel. If you want that minor feel on the E, just use your index finger on the 12th fret, plug your scale in right there, and you're back to your minor feel. Here you can see where we have our root notes for our minor pentatonic as well as our major pentatonic. So you can see the scale shape is exactly the same. The only thing that changes are the red notes we have there. Change position. So let's go over which root notes we're going to be playing for minor, and then we'll go over which ones are going to be important for major. If we're playing in minor, your root notes are going to be on index finger on the E string, ring finger on the D string, and then index finger on the high E string. That's where you can find your root notes. The root notes are very important for when you're soloing and improvising. It's always important to be aware of where those are. Usually you're going to want to end your licks on those root notes to give your licks a feel of completion. Aim for one of those root notes. If I'm playing and I don't end on one of those root notes, your lick or your solo is not going to sound complete. Always important to aim for those root notes with the phrases that you're improvising with. In order to find your major root notes, let's move down. We're still in A, but this time we're in A major instead of A minor. You're going to use those root note patterns stay constant no matter what key you're playing in. So it's very important to memorize them. There's only 3 root notes in each of the scales. So for example, if we wanted to play in key of E major, you just move over so your pinky is on that E, that 12th fret note. Then your root notes are going to be 12th fret E with your pinky. Then you're going to have index finger 9th fret G, and then pinky 12th fret high E. The reason this works is when you move the shape around, you're actually rearranging the intervals. So we're getting from intervals in a minor scale, shifting them over. It totally rearranges the intervals without you really having to think about it to give it a major feel. Really great way of practicing you can do right here on YouTube. Just go to the search bar up top, search whatever key you're looking for. For example, A minor, backing track. There's going to be hundreds of guys out there who put up backing tracks. Put on any of those, play along with it. Practice sticking with the rhythm and just messing around in your scale. Every day you go to practice this, pick a different key and make sure you know the notes on your E string so you can plug in where you go. For example, today, pick A minor. Just start on that 5th fret there. The next day, pick a random letter. Let's say D major. So we'll start with our pinky on the D, and then we're playing in D major. So just pull up a D major backing track and mess around with that. The more you practice improvising, the better you'll get at it. A lot of people are afraid to improvise at first. It's a skill just like any other. You're not going to sound like Jimi Hendrix your first time improvising. Pull up those backing tracks and jam along. It's a really fun way to practice. Once you get more comfortable with this concept, instead of just playing along with the key of the song that you're in, you can also use the pentatonic scale to follow along with the chord progression. Say for example, we're following along with a C major, F major, G major chord progression. What you would do is pay attention to when the chords are changing, get a feel for it, and then change which position you're playing your pentatonic scale in when the chords are changing. On C, you'd be starting out on your 8th fret, the major version. Then when the song switches to the F chord, move your pinky over to the F. Then when we go to G, you just slide your pinky up to G position. Start soloing in G. Follow along with the chord progression and it'll make your soloing a bit more interesting than just staying in one position. But make sure you're comfortable with one position first before you try anything like that. If you're trying to find out the key of a song, easiest way is to Google it, all right? If you don't have that option, look at the last chord that's played in the song. Usually that's going to be the key that you're playing in. If you're playing along with a metal song, it's probably going to be whatever your open E string is tuned to. Usually going to be E minor if you're in standard tuning, D minor if you're dropped down to D. Whatever tuning you're set to, it's probably going to be what your metal song is tuned to. Not all the time, but most of the time. If you need to figure it out by ear, just practice moving the shape around until you find a spot where it sounds good. I think you'll surprise yourself with how well trained your ear is, and you'll be able to pick up where the scale fits in with the song. Anyway, guys, that's all you have to do to use one scale shape to solo in any key you want. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to ask me down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content. I put out new videos multiple times a week. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great one.